From Anshe Sfard Beth El Emeth Congregation, it's time to take 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Chanukah. What is the essence of Chanukah? If you look in the Gemara, the main source for Chanukah, it's discussed here on Shabbat 21b, Chaf Alef Amud Bet, and there it says that L'shana Acheret, another year after Chanukah actually transpired, a different year, what happened? Kav'um, they, presumably the rabbis, established Vasa'um, they made those days Yamim Tovim B'Halel Voda. These 8 days were made into Yamim Tovim, ostensibly a yontif, like a holiday, a day that's forbidden to work. That's what it sounds like. B'Halel V'Hoda, with Hallel, with thanksgiving, and Hoda, thanks, praise and thanks. What does that mean? A Yom Tov with Hallel and Hoda? What does it mean? So Rashi says, well, no. He says as follows. He says, V'asaum lo sh'asurim b'mlacha. It's not that the rabbis forbade you to work. It's not a Yom Tov, like when you say Good Yom Tov on a Pesach Shavuos. It's not a day when you're not allowed to work. Rather, Ela likrot Hallel. The purpose of Chanukah, the essence of Chanukah, is to read Hallel. Unlike our usual conception of Chanukah, that it's a holiday to light candles, Rashi says they established it primarily to say Hallel, the Psalms of Thanksgiving, the Hallelujahs, the various Psalms that we say, Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, Rosh Chodesh to some degree. That's what the essence of Chanukah. And one more thing, says Rashi. What does it mean that the Gemara says, praise Hallel, those are the Psalms of praise, and Hoda'ah, thanks. What's the thanks? Thanks is Al Hanisim v'Hoda. That when we come to the blessing of Thanksgiving, which we say every day in the Shemona Esrei, 3 times a day, we should add the Al Hanisim. We should add a prayer about which tells the story of Chanukah, and it adds to our various Thanksgiving which we give every day. The Rambam differs. The Rambam interprets this Gemara as follows. The Rambam Maimonides says, V'yomim elu, he says as follows. They established, Chachamim Shebos Odor, the sages of that generation established it. Shiyu Shmonas Yomim elu, that these 8 days which begin on the 25th of Kislev should be Yemei Simcha v'Hallel, days of Simcha, of joy. When it says Yom Tov, it doesn't mean that it's forbidden in work. Rashi's correct. We don't say that you can't work on Chanukah. You can, but you should be a Yom Tov. You should rejoice on Chanukah. The Hallel. And it should be a time of Hallel, of praises. What about Hodah? Rambam didn't explain how, in what sense is Hodah. Rashi claimed that Al Hanisim, the insertion of Chanukah in your Shemona Esrei, in your standing devotion, is the essence of Chanukah. That the 2 essential prayers of Chanukah are Hallel, Psalms of Praise, and the Al Hanisim in your blessings of Thanksgiving. The Rambam says that's impossible. Because what happens if during Shemona Esrei, during the entire week of Chanukah, you forgot to say, to thank God for Chanukah? Nothing happens. As a matter of fact, you could skip the Thanksgiving for Chanukah every time you say Shemona Esrei, every time you say benching, and nothing would happen. So how can you say that these days were established in order to say Hallel, to Hodah, a Thanksgiving in the Thanksgiving blessing? The rabbis didn't make it mandatory. It's not obligatory. So how could you possibly say that? So the Rambam says the essence is Hallel. Now, according to both Rashi and the Rambam, in the way they interpret the Gemara, the essence of Chanukah is not lighting the candles. The essence of Chanukah is through the Hallel, the Psalms of Thanksgiving. The only problem is, we know that the candle lighting is somewhat important. So what do we do about that? So the Rambam hedges his bet by saying, well, we also light candles as well. The candles, it's just like the Megillah, it's presumably to spread the word about the Hallel. But the prayer that we say, the Haneros Hallel, the prayer we say while we light the candles, seems to have a different answer. It says that why do we light these candles? Kedei lahodot lalel shimcha gadol. You know why we light the candles? In order to give thanks to your name. So actually, the candles are also a Hallel. The candles are also a type of thanksgiving. When we light candles, we're saying, God, not just there once was a Maccabee, there once was a victory, there once was the lighting of the candles for 8 days. No, I want to thank God for the lighting of the candles. I want to thank God for the miracle of the Maccabees. I want to thank God for the miracle of the candles. And therefore, I light the candle kedei lahodot, as in order to give thanksgiving. This way, the entire Chanukah comes together. It's a holiday whose essence is thanksgiving. And one of the expressions of thanksgiving is the Haneros Hallel, is the lighting of the candles. And Rabbi Soloveitchik said that you should say Haneros Hallel, you should say, while you light the candles, that you know why I'm lighting this? Kedei lahodot lahal. I'm lighting these candles to give thanksgiving to God. How should we feel on Chanukah? Chanukah is like a Thanksgiving. We just finished the American holiday of Thanksgiving, and we were asked to be thankful for everything we have. That's Chanukah. Chanukah is a time we recognize that we don't live in a time, thank God, like the Greeks, when the Greeks would plunder our wealth. The Greeks would overtax us for being Jews. The Greeks would take our daughters and our families away. We live, thank God, in good times. Most of us, thank God. And therefore, we can give thanksgiving for that. Chanukah is a time of thanksgiving. But what's the difference between Hallel and Hodah? Hallel is to thank God for the miraculous, and Hodah is to thank God for the mundane and the everyday. The Hallel is to thank God for the miraculous, the miracle of the oil, and the Hodah, the thanksgiving, is to thank God for the miracles that are every day. Like the fact that we exist, the fact that we can live and breathe and eat and sustain ourselves and support ourselves. This is the Hodah. We need to be thankful for the miraculous. That's Hallel. We need to be thankful for the mundane. And this explains the difference. The word niflotecha, says Rabbi Soloveitchik, the idea of the supernatural appears only in the lighting of the candles. The lighting of the candles speaks of the supernatural. But the Hodah in the Modim and the Thanksgiving every day in the Shemona Esrei, we don't talk about the supernatural. We talk about the fact that our natural existence, that itself, is a miracle, not supernatural. The natural is also miraculous. As Ramban says, the Nes is Teva, the Teva is Nes, nature is a miracle. Thanksgiving on Chanukah, we should feel like 8 days of Thanksgiving. We should have that sense of Thanksgiving in our heart, and hopefully that will bring to the Simcha. What kind of joy do we have? What kind of Yom Tov is Chanukah? Chanukah is a time when hopefully we have Thanksgiving. And with Thanksgiving, hopefully that will bring us joy. We'll truly have a happy Chanukah. Thank you for joining us here for a discussion of the essence of Chanukah here at the Anshe Sfarad Bethel Emeth Congregation here in Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks to Jason Lefkowitz for making today's presentation possible. Join us again for a discussion each week of the Parshat Shavua. Feel free to check our archives for previous discussions of Chanukah and other Parsha-related discussions. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.